Okay, I'm going to really quick show you how to diagnose a bad Frigidaire ice maker. One of the first things you want to do is just check to see if there are any frozen cubes inside the tray. I'll cover that in a second, why you want to check for that. Next, you're going to want to pull the cover off, and that just pulls off. You just want to get a good grip and pull it off. And then look and inspect these gears. See if there are any teeth missing on the gears or anything like that. Next, you can manually turn this gear with a tool. I just use these pliers, but you can use anything. Turn the larger gear about at least a quarter turn and see if it starts to rotate by itself. If it does not start to rotate, then you've probably got a bad ice maker. It's pretty rare that you have issues with power, but in order to remove the ice maker, you're going to want to undo or take these two screws off or just loosen them up, and then this thing will just kind of wiggle itself up and out of the slots of the ice maker. And then the harness is just a two-tabbed harness, so that thing will pull right out. So it's pretty straightforward, and you can see how far I have the screws backed out to be able to pull that off. Next, I'll show you kind of if you want to check for power going to the ice maker, you got to check the leads, the black and blue leads. Put your wires up to those, and you should get 120 volts. Like I said, that's not a common problem. I hardly ever have that. So now I've got the new ice maker installed, and I'm going to show you what it should look like when you twist the motor. So when you force it forward about a quarter of a turn, or even a little less, it should start to rotate by itself, just like this. And now you know, okay, we do have power and it is rotating just fine. So that was definitely a sign of it. Now back to if you have cubes inside the ice maker mold, then your water supply is probably good. If you don't have water inside the mold when you're replacing this ice maker, I always just double check to make sure that it supplies water the way it should. So when this thing is turning around, it will get it'll do a full cycle, and about the last 15 seconds of that cycle it will call for water and fill up the mold, and from there you can hear the water go into it, and when you do, just reach back and fill inside the mold again and make sure that the water went into the ice maker itself. If you reach into the mold of the ice maker and you don't feel water there, but you did hear the valve turn on and sounded like water was running somewhere, then you're going to want to check behind the fridge and make sure that the water is connected and you don't have a break in the line somewhere. Another thing is if you get in there and it doesn't have water inside the mold, but the ice maker does cycle and you can see those gears moving, then you may have a problem with the water valve, which is located behind the fridge. That'll be a separate video and how to get into all that. But at that point, I would probably pull the fridge out and just make sure that your water supply is connected, and make sure that your water line going up to the ice maker is connected and you don't have water somewhere you shouldn't. But this is a pretty common problem for these Frigidaire ice makers. So like I said, if you don't have ice, the first thing to do, pull that cover off and manually turn the gearing to see if it starts to cycle by itself, and then go from there.